Welcome to Beyond the Badge. Beyond the Badge is an inside look at your Oshkosh Police Department, brought to you through the resources of Oshkosh Community Media Services.
Welcome to this edition of Beyond the Badge. I'm Joe Nichols. On today's show, we'll be talking with John Holland from the Oshkosh Fire Department, who is the public educator on fire safety. Later in this show, we will be talking with Mary Ann Radley and Deputy Erica Geschrei about the Take Back the Night event and how to be aware of predators on the internet. We welcome all of you watching us on City Cable 10 and those of you listening to us on 101.9 WOCT. John, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
It's been a while, I think 2 years since the last time.
It has been quite a while here.
That's absolutely. And I managed to get you back on.
Yes, exactly. That's what it was, yes.
Now, John, you are the Fire Department public educator. What are your duties what's the duties of the position?
I am basically the better-looking version of the Joe Nichols of the police department. I go out and do all the education in the schools. I do training for business and industries, and the PIO, just like you are, a little bit of everything. I pretty much have the best job in the world.
Excellent. We'll cut that one out later.
Yeah. They can judge for themselves.
Exactly.
We're both.
Oh, there you go. Fire Safety Week, John, is October 5th through the 11th this year. Is there any reason that it is held during this week?
It is always during the week of October 9th, and the reason for that is the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire. Okay. And also, being from Wisconsin, it's also the date of the Peshtigo Fire, which was hurt many more people, was much bigger, but Chicago has better PR, so.
Very good. All right. And Fire Prevention Week is usually does have a theme. Mm-hmm. What is the theme for this week's Fire Prevention Week?
Yep. For this year, it is Working Smoke Alarms Save Lives. Test yours every month. All right.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. Speaking of smoke detectors, they're not new technology. Okay, and so why is it that we focus on them so much?
Yeah, that is always surprising to me. That we have to bring this up. Like you said, it's not new technology. These have been around for a long time, but we're always surprised when we go into homes the number that either don't have enough working smoke detectors, or in some of them not even any at all. And they're not expensive. You can get them for about $5-6, and your life is certainly worth that. And besides that, you can actually get them for free. We have a program called Project Safe, where we will go out into the community, and you give us a call, and we'll have our number on there in a little bit, and I will come out and check it for you. Otherwise, during Fire Prevention Week, we have a special push that we call our Detector Trek, and we are out there replacing smoke detectors, batteries. Last year, we installed over 200 detectors and more than 100 batteries, which is mind-boggling that we actually had to put that many out there. Through the years that we've been doing this, it's been a little more than 5 years, we've found that only about 43% of the houses we visit actually have enough working smoke alarms, which is like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that is incredible. And especially with the fires that we do have around in the area.
Exactly.
So I've been asked myself, how many smoke detectors must you have in your house, and where do you put them?
Yeah. The bare minimum you should have is one on every floor. And then, if you sleep with your bedroom door closed, which you actually should, the shut door, even the hollow core door, will give you about 15 minutes if you are trapped in there. God forbid you do have a house fire. That's a long, long time in a fire. So if you do have those doors shut, you should also have one inside that bedroom. So if there's a fire in that bedroom, it'll go off. The shut door won't stop the smoke from getting in there, from setting off the alarm. So it's, one in every floor and in each bedroom if you do shut the door like you should. And as far as where they go, if you look at our website, which is www.oshkoshfd.com, and click on our education link, there are exact places where to put them, little pictures. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, very good. And what is the Oshkosh Fire Department doing this year to remind people to stay fire safe?
Just like every year, we're out in the schools big time. The schools like us there. They have to teach this, so they really do appreciate our help. We're out there with the safe house, with classroom presentations, fire station tours, and then we always have our 5th grade Fire Prevention Week poster contest. And the way that works is the winner from each school gets not only a ride to school in the fire truck, they also get to ride in our fire truck in the holiday parade.
Oh, wow.
And the kids really love that.
That is great.
And I get to be up there with them, which I like it too.
Good. You're still a kid at heart.
Exactly.
And let's talk about the 3 most common causes of fire in Oshkosh. Okay, and what can our viewers and listeners do to protect themselves?
Well, the 3 big ones are smoking, electrical, and cooking. And with the smoking, actually with all of these, it kind of comes down to just pay a little more attention to your surroundings and use a little more caution. The smoking, the big one is usually the careless disposal of the ashes. Either grinding them out on a carpeting. We have some where they're using like a plastic pot for an ashtray, or they'll dump them into a plastic garbage can, which again, not a good idea. For the electrical, the big one there is overloaded extension cords. You should actually only have one thing plugged into an extension cord. And then the question we always get is, well, then how come there's 3 spots? And it's like, because they can, which is a pretty lousy answer. But if they have the power strips, that works much better. You can plug as many things into those as need be. And if you have too much, it just turns off.
Okay.
With the extension cords, they just get hotter and hotter and hotter until you have a fire. With the cooking, the big one there is stay in the kitchen if you have something on the stove or if you're broiling something. Set a timer if it's going to take you a while, but stay put. We have people that a lot of times when they have a kitchen fire, they will say, we were only out of the room or out of the house for a couple minutes, and everything that was in that pot is boiled down to about that far. And it's like, it was a pretty long couple of minutes. So just pay attention to what you're doing.
Absolutely, and especially with kids in the kitchen, being around the stove, being around the oven, you want to protect them as well.
You bet. And what we always say, you should have a 3-foot perimeter around that stove. For smaller kids, and they should not go in it. And that's pretty easy to do, although I know kids are squirreling all over the place, but do your best to keep them away from that. Turn the pot handles in, because they're right at kid head level. So if they come by and they bump that and get the hot liquid, they're going to get a very nasty scald that hurts a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I burned my finger the other day lighting a fire in a charcoal pit thing. And
I hope it was in something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I said, geez, that really hurt.
Yep.
And there was no mark or anything. And I kept thinking, if you really got burned, it's going to be painful.
It is miserable, yes.
Absolutely. So, if there is a fire in someone's house, okay, and what do you do?
Their best bet is to get out as fast as they can and call 911. Obviously, you can do it from a neighbor's phone. If you have your cell phone with you, of course, use it. One of the odd things we have going on is people are running back in with their cell phones. And like pets and kittens and stuff, I get that. I mean, you shouldn't either with any of those. But really, the phone, wow. So if you can get a hold of one, or you have one, yes, use it. Only fight the fire if it is small and contained. And by small, I mean like garbage can size, and contained just means it's not moving around, because once it starts moving, it really takes off.
Okay. So if there's a fire in a pan on the stove, take your fire extinguisher and put it out.
You got it. You got
Really?
it. If you know what you're doing, you bet.
what you're
If you know
doing.
what you're doing. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And the directions are right on the extinguisher. When
Okay.
you have a fire, is not the time to.
Just
Oh
to
yeah.
look it up.
If
Okay.
you don't know what you're doing, get out of there.
So if someone would happen to want to go buy a fire extinguisher, what brand or what should they buy or look for on the label?
Okay. All they need is one of the little ones. You don't have to buy the giant ones. If you have a fire in your home that the small extinguisher can't put out, you should not be fighting it. And you want to look for one that is either ABC or BC. And ABC means it'll put out solid, liquid, and electrical fires. The BC is the liquid and the electrical, and those are the most common. So they're going to, like, the BC are for the kitchen mainly, because you're going to have a grease fire or whatever, just like you said. So it'll do that job very, very well.
Very good. And what else is happening at the fire department? Anything new?
We do have a couple new things. We are on Facebook and we are on Twitter these days. So if you want to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook, we would greatly appreciate it. Not only do we share safety tips, but we also let people know what's up, what their fire department does. They're always very surprised when they find out all the different things we do. And we do have one more new thing. We have a mascot. We have a Dalmatian. His name is
You
Quinn.
do? Okay.
And he is Tim Franz, our fire chief. It's his dog. Come on down to Station 15, the main fire station, and say hi. He loves the attention.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, John, for
All right.
coming on today's show.
Thank you again.
And we'll see you soon again, I'm sure.
All right.
And we'll be right back after this short break with Mary Ann and Erica.
Hello, I'm City Manager Mark Roloff. Roundabouts are new to many of us in Oshkosh, so we have to take extra precaution when using them. Remember, safety is the key. Slow down. The speed limit in the roundabout is only 15 miles an hour. Avoid distractions. Focus all your attention on navigating the roundabout. Find the proper lane. Check out the signage leading up to the roundabout. Choose your lane assignment early and stay in your lane. Evaluate the situation. Take notice of what kind of vehicles are in front of you. Sometimes larger trucks need to take up both lanes of a roundabout. Think to look for pedestrians and allow them to cross when entering and exiting a roundabout. Yield to traffic on your left. You must yield to all traffic in the roundabout, and that traffic will be coming from your left. Again, safety is the key. Remember that word and what those letters represent, and your roundabout driving experience will be a smooth one. Thanks for your support.
Welcome back to Beyond the Badge. We are here with Mary Ann Radley, the victim advocate and volunteer coordinator from Reach Counseling, and Winnebago County Deputy Erica Geschrei, who is the community programs coordinator for the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. And Mary Ann, welcome back to the show. Erica, welcome back.
Thank you.
And Mary Ann and Erica, I'm just going to ask if you could just tell us a little bit about yourselves. We're going to start with Mary Ann.
Sure. Well, like you said, I work at Reach Counseling Services. I'm the victim advocate and volunteer coordinator, so I work primarily with victims and families that have been affected by sexual violence in Winnebago County.
Very good. Thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Erica?
Sure. Been at the Sheriff's Office for about 13 years now, and I am the Community Programs Coordinator there. Basically what I do is I go out and I give presentations, I give safety talks, coordinate any events the Sheriff's Office may be a part of.
Okay, excellent. Well, the both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mary Ann, first of all, Take Back the Night is fast approaching.
Yes, it is.
Okay, please tell us a little bit about this year's event.
Sure. Well, it is fast approaching. It is going to be held on Wednesday, October 8th at 5:30 p.m., again at the Reeve Memorial Union at UW Oshkosh. And it's going to look a lot like it has in years past with a few changes. We're changing up some of our activities this year. We've done many of the same things in the past, but we're trying to keep things new and exciting for people that come. So the activities fair will happen right at 5:30, followed by the rally with our survivor speaker and some educational speakers, followed by the traditional march that we do through the streets of Oshkosh.
Fantastic. Very good. And Marianne, who works together to make Take Back the Night work?
Sure. Yeah, actually a lot of different agencies come together, and really we work almost all year round in putting this event together. So it's Reach Counseling Services and Christine Ann who work to address the sexual violence and domestic violence pieces, and we collaborate with the university, so the UW Oshkosh Women's Center, the Counseling Center, and actually this year we have a new couple of members from the University Police Department as well as ROTC. So we're really glad to have them at the table.
Excellent. Excellent. And you work for Reach Counseling Services. What programs does Reach Counseling have, and how do you help the community?
Sure. We have quite a few different programs. Reach is the Sexual Assault Service Center as well as a licensed mental health clinic. So we specialize in treating sexual abuse and sexual assault trauma in our community. We have education and advocacy programs, so going out into the schools, as well as advocates who work with lots of different people in the community, both parents of children themselves, men and women who have been affected by sexual violence within the court system. We go to the hospitals to provide medical advocacy, and then personal advocacy, whatever someone might need.
Okay. Well, that's a lot for the community.
It really is, yeah.
And Erica, the emphasis of the Take Back the Night program this year is internet safety. You can talk to just about anyone now on the internet, okay? And not only just the internet, I mean, there's cell phones and gaming networks, everything's out there, electronic. But what are some of the dangers out there, especially to kids, you know?
Sure. Lots of different dangers on the internet. Obviously, there's identity theft. Someone steals a child's identity and starts to use things to defraud them. And there's scams. Of course, there's cyberbullying, where kids are bullying each other using the technology. One of the biggest ones that we're concerned about are sexual predators. Basically, the internet is a playground for a predator. The internet provides them that anonymity, where they can pretend to be someone that they're not and engage in conversation with children. And up to some point, after grooming a child, they could eventually meet them and hurt them. Kind of scary.
Okay. And Marianne, how does Reach Counseling work with our schools in our community?
Yeah, Reach has a couple of prevention educators that go out into just about every single school in Winnebago County. They talk to more than 20,000 kids every year about different things, age-appropriate presentations on healthy relationships, sexual abuse, consent, and like Erica said, there's a huge problems with the internet, especially with our young ones in the schools today. So over the last few years, they've really started to update their curriculum to include things about cyberbullying, sexting, and the different dangers of the internet. So those messages are being taught to kids from Reach as well.
Very good. And I know, Erica, you and Deputy Ehlert go out and you've got a program as well for internet safety. I know that you talked in Winneconne. How did that go?
Went excellent. We did a large assembly with parents to kind of just educate them and kind of let them know what's going on with our kids and try to explain to them kind of what our kids are thinking, especially when it comes to sexting. Like she said, that is a huge problem with our youth today, is sexting.
Okay. And what is sexting?
Sure. Basically, it's engaging in sexual activity with photographs, sexually explicit materials, and using the technology to send those images or videos back and forth. And it's going to be with someone under the age of 18 that obviously can't give consent to do these things.
Okay. And now this is something that is illegal.
That's one of the biggest things that our kids do not understand, is that they think it's my body, I can do whatever I want with it, but no, you cannot. Sexting is a crime, is illegal. Basically, when a child takes an image of themselves in a sexually explicit manner, it is a production of child pornography. And then when they send that on to whomever, it's a dispersion of child pornography. And now that individual has that image, they're now in the possession of child pornography, which is a serious thing. It's a crime.
Yeah, and so it keeps on going and going and going. It doesn't stop. And I mean, we've had instances like that before, but once it's the world's on the World Wide Web, it's everybody's.
So we try and explain to the kids that once you send that image out, it's out of your hands now, and you can't control what happens to it.
That's
it's gone.
Right. Yeah. And no one can say, well, that's my picture, I want it back.
Nope.
Yeah. Marianne, who is affected by sexual violence, and how prevalent is it in our community?
Unfortunately, sexual violence and sexual abuse is quite prevalent in our community. I wouldn't say it's any more or less prevalent than it is anywhere else. We typically say that 1 in 3 girls before the age of 18 will be sexually abused, and 1 in 5 boys. That's a little higher than the national average. We're not sure if it's just that we're really good at reaching out to folks and getting people to come forward with getting the services that they need, and that's why our numbers look a little high. That's kind of the positive spin, but we do know that we provide a lot of great services for sexual abuse victims in our community. But really, whether or not you've been personally affected, you're a victim or a survivor of abuse yourself, we all, whether we know it or not, know someone that has been affected by sexual abuse.
Absolutely. And you said that the statistics are high.
They are.
But you want people to report it instead of...
If they're comfortable doing so, absolutely. You know, that's a very personal decision, but Reach Counseling, especially in, Winnebago County, we have resources to help people do that, to help them navigate the court system, to help them interact with law enforcement and making them feel safe doing, making that report, and, really trying to provide those comprehensive services, getting them counseling while they're healing from the abuse and things like that.
Very good. Very good. And Erica, how important is it that victims do report acts of sexual violence?
It's extremely important. Without communicating to us, there's no way we can help. If we have a victim that's able to come to us or come to Reach Counseling and with the guidance of them, tell us what's going on, then we can intervene and help them and stop that violence. And a lot of times they're not the only victim. And that's what we try to get across to, the sexual abuse victims, is that you are helping others by coming forward. So it's extremely important.
That's a great point, because it might just not be them. It could be others that are being affected by it. Marianne, which community partners do you collaborate with?
A lot of different community partners we collaborate with. I mentioned Christine Ann Domestic Abuse Services before. We both work together just in the very sense that we both work to end violence against women, us on the sexual abuse, them on the domestic abuse, and several other nonprofit agencies. A lot of youth-serving organizations will refer to us. In our advocacy program, we work very closely with the different police departments, the courthouse, different district attorneys that we work with there in working with our clients, as well as hospitals. I mentioned all the schools that we work with before in the county, and then of course we do have a victim advocate employed at UW Oshkosh. So we have a really nice relationship with the university, and she provides the same sort of services to students, faculty, and staff.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So a lot of options out there. Absolutely. And Erica, what can parents do to keep their kids safe online?
Sure. Biggest thing is parents need to communicate with their kids. You need to be checking in with them, have them checking in with you. A lot of times we'll find that parents will give their kids access to technology without understanding it themselves, and now kids just have free reign to do whatever they want with it. So the biggest key is communication. Second, if you are uncomfortable with technology, educate yourself with it. If you provide your child with an iPod or a smartphone and there's apps on it, you should understand how those apps work and how they can harm your child if possible.
Absolutely. And in this day's technology, I mean, I came from the era of a typewriter, which some of the kids don't know out there. But the fact is that kids can actually teach their parents something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, believe me, I learn something on the computer, something new every day.
Yeah.
So, and if parents do realize or find out that there's something occurring on the computer that just isn't right, what should they do?
Well, like I said, biggest thing is communication. So if you can intercede and find out that something's not quite right, depending on the level of what it is, if it's something that you can handle at home by talking to your child about why this behavior is inappropriate, that's the best place to start. If it's an adult engaging in inappropriate behavior with your child, you definitely should let law enforcement know, because again, your child's not going to be the only one that this individual is targeting and talking to.
Very good. And with technology, okay, I try to tell the parents when I talk to them that, that cell phone that you purchased for your child under the age of 18 and the computer, that's not theirs.
Correct.
And that they have the right to look into what's going on.
Yes. My partner, Deputy Pete Ayler, and I do a lot of social media presentations, and one of the biggest things we tell the parents is you need to be a parent. You're not their friend. When you buy these things for your kids, it's your responsibility to be the parent and to make sure your kids are being safe with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because you're friends with somebody on Facebook doesn't mean that their friends can be your friends.
Correct.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a way of just stating, I don't know what it's called on Facebook, but you can just hold off or not.
Well, sure. There's privacy settings that you can set to make sure only certain people see certain things that you post. Also, if there's someone being inappropriate on there, you can simply ignore it. not
Absolutely.
responding, engaging with them.
Absolutely. Well, and it's very important that kids do take a look, or that the parents do take a look at their kids'
Absolutely,
work.
yes.
Marianne, please let us know again what's the date for the Take Back the Night.
It's on Wednesday, October 8th. Starts at 5:30 p.m. at Reeve Memorial Union in Oshkosh. So we hope lots of folks can make it out again this year.
Fantastic. And I was there last year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be there this
Oh,
year.
it's too
Yeah,
bad.
I wish I could be. But it
big
was a
turnout.
great event, great turnout last year. And we had Nicole Tynan on
Yes.
last year. Great speaker. And but I wish you all the best for this year's
Thank you.
event. And everyone come on out and enjoy the event. Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you very much,
Yes, thank
Marianne,
you,
for
Joe.
coming on today. Erica,
right,
thank
thank
you
you,
very
Joe.
much for coming. And we'll be right back after this short break.
In Wisconsin, the laws are the same for bicyclists and motorists. So if you bike, ride with the traffic and obey stop signs and lights. Whether you ride a bike or drive a car, you must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians at marked and unmarked crosswalks. At intersections, always look for pedestrians before making a turn. And slow down in school zones and neighborhoods to keep our kids safe. Share and be aware. We're all responsible.
Welcome back to Beyond the Badge. We thank John Holland, Marianne Radley, and Erica Geschrei for being on today's show. Don't forget about this year's Take Back the Night event, which is being held on Wednesday, October 8th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at the Reeve Memorial Union on the UW Oshkosh campus. Also, Halloween is fast approaching as well, and this year's trick-or-treating will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday, October 31st. Parents, please remember these tips. Walk with your children, okay, when trick-or-treating in your neighborhood. Make sure that the kids are wearing brightly colored outfits or costumes that are properly fit, and that they are also walking with a flashlight so that other people can see them. Be sure that you check out the candy before they begin eating it, okay, and before you eat it as well. If something looks suspicious, throw it out. If there's something in the candy, make sure that you contact the police department, okay? For replay times of Beyond the Badge, you can go to OshkoshCommunityMedia.org or OshkoshPD.com if you missed a show and want to watch us again. We thank you all for watching and listening to us here at Beyond the Badge. Until next time, stay safe, be vigilant, and be crime-free.